This is a great little recipe that I make at home all the time. It's my little pizza swirl scones. Well, it's a scone dough anyway. And I put leg ham in it and tomato. It's fantastic. It starts with self-raising flour. I've got 3 cups of self-raising flour. And to make the dough nice and light and fluffy, I like to sift my flour through a sieve like this with some baking powder, and then I'll give it plenty of lift, which is what you want with a scone dough. And the funny thing is, it's like a pizza with pizza ingredients, and if you do it properly, you'll get this flour dust nearly all over the place, and there'll be none of these lumps here. Now, the last little bits you just push through with your fingers, and if there is anything in the flour, by straining it like this, you'll make sure you get everything out of it. Now, my wet ingredients are really simple. You can use cream, you can use milk, you can use eggs, you can use butter, but I like to use buttermilk. It's got a really nice flavour, and I add about a cup of buttermilk to the centre of my flour. And then with a fork, it's just a matter of mixing it around nice and gently like this until it comes together. So just a minute or so of stirring it around and you'll get a nice scone ball. Okay, after a minute or so, you can see the dough starts to get quite lumpy. And this is a good time to tip it out on the board. If you want, you can grab a little bowl with some flour and just dust the board and then pop your dough straight out onto the board there. It should be a little bit crumbly, that's okay. So it's just a matter of just bringing it together nice and gently. And I want you to think that you're a little old nana, so use your gentle hands, not your hands for bricklaying. That's what we want to see. And while you're there, pick up all the little crumbs around the outside. We don't want to waste anything. And once you've got it all together like this, it feels nice and soft. I'm just going to pop it here on the board here, and then we'll cut the rest of the ingredients. Slide these over here. Now, I've got some chives, and I love using chives. They give it an onion flavour, and I slice them nice and thin. The thing with chives is make sure you wash them really well before you use them and dry them off between a tea towel. Just rub them together nice and gently, and that gets all the water off it. Now, of course, the best part is the Manuka honey ham, which has got such a great flavour. And it has all of these healthy qualities about it, but the thing I like about the Manuka honey ham is the flavour. It is really, really delicious. I like to slice it nice and thin so it falls apart and goes all the way through my pizza scones. So once you've got all of this through here like that, you're just about ready to go. But that's the best part about doing the cooking. You get to taste it first. So once you've got your dough ready and all your ingredients ready to go, it's a matter of just rolling the dough out. And as I said before, if it is a little bit sticky, a little dust of flour like that on the top and the bottom, and your rolling pin will just glide smoothly through your dough. Now roll it out nice and thin, about the thickness of a pizza dough, about 1 centimetre or so. Now to start it off, I've got some tomato passata. You can use chopped up fresh tomatoes, you can use tomato paste, it doesn't really matter. But a good amount of tomato passata on here to give it some moisture, some colour, and that lovely tomato flavour that we love so much. Go all the way to the end here. That looks fantastic. Now the ham, the Manuka honey ham. Just sprinkle it around the whole base here like this, around the dough, so it spreads out evenly. You want to make sure you get this ham in every single bite, so make sure it's nice and even. Then some chives, make sure they sprinkle out. Now you could use any herbs you want. You could use dried herbs, but believe me, chives make it delicious. Some grated mozzarella cheese is essential. Mozzarella makes it nice and stringy and gooey. Now this is the bit you need to pay attention. We need to roll it up. This is the long side and this is the short side. So what I do is start to roll it from this side here all the way across so it rolls up nice and evenly. And when you roll it like this, just give it a bit of a squeeze so it's nicely packed. And then all we need to do is cut it with a knife. But before we cut it with a knife, I'll just show you my baking dish here. Nice and simple with some baking paper. Tear it off like that, scrunch it up, and then throw it into the bottom of the baking dish. This will stop it from sticking and form a nice base as well. And then here's the fun part. We're just going to cut it. So we cut it in half like this. So we've got these lovely big swirls of ingredients all the way through. And then it's just a matter of cutting it about 2 fingers wide, all the way through here like this so you can see it looks really good. Now down the end here where it looks nice and rough, I like to put that in the centre. Pinch it together like this and then pop it into the centre. Now, you don't need to pack it too tight because it's got self-raising flour and it will expand, so you need to give it some room. Just place these all the way around the outside till we fill the entire container. You can see we've got some big swirls here for the big kids and some small swirls here for the little kids. Look at that. That looks fantastic. Just push it down a tiny little bit. And then to make it look even better, I like to grab some of the leftover buttermilk and brush it over the top. Now we just need to bake it in the oven. Now the trick is to preheat your oven 200 degrees Celsius. Pop these in, they'll take about 20 minutes to 25 minutes. You'll know they're cooked because they'll be golden brown, they'll smell delicious and the cheese will be gooey. This is why I like using baking paper. It's so easy to just pull the little pizza scones straight out. And they're still quite hot, but I'll just tear this off like this. You can imagine eating this nice and hot like this, or letting it cool down and popping it in a little lunchbox for a little person. Now you can see that ham there, it looks delicious and smells fantastic as well. That's really good.